guys, and welcome to your 2-Minute Money Manager. I'm your host, Stacey Johnson, and this answer is brought to you by MoneyTalksNews.com, serving up the best in personal finance news and advice since 1991. Today's question comes to us from Ann. Ann says, I'm selling a house inherited from my mother. What kind of tax implications am I facing? I live in Texas where there's no state income tax. Okay, Ann, let's discuss. As we begin to talk, though, keep in mind, we're talking about income taxes here, not estate taxes, okay? That's an entirely different topic. Now, when you inherit something, you don't owe income tax on it. In fact, that's the beauty of an inheritance. Let me repeat that. You inherit something, you don't owe income tax. Gifts and inheritances, both, as a matter of fact, aren't considered taxable income. But if you sell something you inherited, you could owe tax on that gain. When you inherit things like real estate, odds are good it's going to be worth more than it was when the original owner bought it. In this case, for example, Ann inherited a house from her mom. Now, Ann's concerned that when she sells her inherited house, she's going to have a big gain and a big income tax bill to go with that gain. Thankfully, however, that's not going to be the case, because when you inherit real estate, its original purchase price, known as the basis for tax purposes, is increased to the value as of the date of death. This is known as a stepped-up basis. Let me give you an example. Ann's mom buys a house in 1970 for $100,000. Now, when she passes away years later, the house is worth $500,000. For tax purposes, the cost, the basis of the house is now stepped up to $500,000. And now, if Ann sells at that price, she's got no taxable gain to report. Her basis is $500,000. She sells for $500,000. No gain, no tax. Now, if she sells it for less than that amount, she could even have a taxable loss to report. Now, this rule is also true when you inherit lots of other things like stocks or things that have a cost basis. Stepped up basis. That's why it's typically better to inherit something than get it as a gift. Now, let's talk about gifting for a minute. When you're gifted something, the good news is that, as when you inherit, there's no income tax due just because you get a gift. The bad news, however, is that you don't get to step up that basis like you did with an inheritance. When somebody gives you something, your tax basis is the same as theirs. So, if Ann's mom had gifted her that house rather than leaving it to her, Ann's tax basis would have been $100,000, same as her mom's. If she immediately sells the house for $500,000, that $400,000 profit would be taxed like all Ann's other income. That means she could pay up to 37% of her gain in taxes. On a $400,000 gain, that's $148,000. That's why, at least for tax purposes, it's better to inherit than to receive a gift. I hope that answers your question, Ann. Now, what about you guys? You got a question of your own to ask? Then do what Ann did. Simply hit reply to any Money Talks email newsletter and fire away. I can't answer every question because I do get a lot of them, but I'll do my best to answer yours. And if you're not getting our newsletter, well, you got to fix that right now by going to MoneyTalksNews.com and subscribing. It's free, takes 5 seconds, and it will absolutely, positively make you richer. I'm Stacey Johnson. I'll see you right here next time.